What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for Queen Sugar season 4, episode 1. Let me tell y'all something, baby. If this is the beginning of how this season is about to go, it's about to be some good stuff. Do you hear me? This was a great first episode, and the underlying theme of this episode, and I think going into this season, is really going to be the question of where's the line between my business and your business when we're talking about family business? You understand what I'm saying? We know that Nova wrote this novel. Well, it's not a novel, sorry, it's a memoir. So this whole episode was about her memoir and how she's processing what she put in it. So let's just start at the beginning and we'll work our way through and we'll go through all of that. We start the episode off with Nova, doing all the things that you do when you get ready to have a big book come out. She's doing press and promos. She found out she's going to get a review in New York Times, and she's going on a book tour and things like that. And she gets she's talking to, I guess it's like the person doing the publicist. I mean, not the not the publicist. Yeah, I guess the publicist. Anyway, somebody helping her with the promo and stuff. And Nova said something that alluded to the fact that her family didn't know what was in the book. And the lady was like, they don't know what's in the book. And she said, well, they know I wrote a book, but they don't really know everything that's in the book. And she was like, don't you think you need to let them know? And I said, oh boy. I mean, her reaction let me know that there was some doozies. And we know some of what's in the book because we know some of what Nova found out last season. But I think there's some secrets that's in that book that even we don't know. You know what I'm saying? As the viewers of the show for the last 3 seasons that we don't even know. And because again, we'll get to that in a minute with Hollywood. So um we see that we see that things are going really well with Charlie and her man that she picked up last season. They're having couples massages, and it seems like he spoils her and everything. She said, you spoil me, and he sent the people away, and then he started giving her a massage, and then he started speaking to her in Spanish, and she spoke back in Spanish. Honey, they was having themselves a nice little afternoon. She said, I really needed this because harvest is coming, and harvest season waits for no man, and they allude to the fact that her son will be back soon. And maybe I should have rewatched last season. Y'all let me know in them comments because I know y'all gonna remind me. I remember the fire last year and all that situation. Did he have to go away to like a boot camp or something like that, or is he with his father? When she said he's coming back, I think he had to go away because remember that whole fire situation, and then y'all remind me in the comments. I didn't rewatch last season, and for some reason that is eluding my memory. I don't remember. Then we see Hollywood and Aunt Vi. They back from their honeymoon, honey. They done traveled the world. Aunt Vi done got that bug up in her. She's picking up all sorts of different fruits and vegetables and spices and stuff there at the market. And she's so excited. Her diner is getting ready to open. And she's excited. And y'all know Hollywood. All Hollywood lives for is to make sure Vi is happy, honey. And, he kind of telling her, look, they just want the people coming in there want pies and hamburgers. She said, well, if they coming in my diner, they're gonna get a little something extra. And they just got to talking about just the diner opening and being happy about everything, and that they had a great honeymoon, and she wants to continue to travel, and she wants to continue, like something in her has just been awakened, and she wants to just keep going. She's not scared to be happy anymore, I think. And something that and this is later on, but I don't want to forget, Jasper said later on when he was talking to Nova. He said, don't apologize for success. And I just thought that was a great line. But just in this moment, Vi is just happy, and I'm like, be unapologetically happy. So then we see we hop on over to Ralph Angel. And he's getting ready to get the harvest ready, talking to his folks, and the guy that he hired, the ex-con that he hired, is still there working, doing well, seem to be doing well, picking up on everything. And Mr. Jasper brings him a letter. He said, look, this look kind of important. I picked up the mail I thought I'd bring it to you. And it's his letter from the government telling him that he has met all of his obligations and he is free and clear. No longer on probation. He don't have to report anywhere, do anything, and he's free. And you just see this moment of exhilaration from him. I mean, it is. I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. When you go through something, you pay your debt to society, you come out, you gotta basically have somebody control your life for however long that is. And when you get that letter saying you are done, you are done. And you see it. He runs and he screams and you just see it. You feel the lift, the weight. I said the lift waiting. The weight lifting up off of him like you see it. So I thought that was oh god, y'all, the writing and the directing is just boom. It's so I cannot talk about how much I love this show. Anyway, so then we see Aunt Vi getting ready for her opening of her diner, honey. She got a I was gonna say first line. She got a second line going with a band because hey, they are in Louisiana, and so she got that second line going down the street, and everybody's dressed up, and the ladies got the umbrellas, and the men got the white handkerchiefs, and everybody's ready to go. And then they get to the diner and Mr. Jasper's there and everything. And Hollywood presents her with a crown because that's his queen, honey. And they get to going, and the party gets started. They have a pie eating contest going on. Blue got his own little corner where he doing his thing, and it was really nice, and everybody's having a good time. Here come Darla. Now Darla Ralph Angel gives Darla the head nod and the little how you doing, and I said okay. The ice is thawing a little bit, but not with Aunt Vi. So she goes, Darla goes over to Aunt Vi. She's got a gift. Aunt Vi said, hi, Darla. She said, hi, and I have this gift for you. And she said, thank you. She said, there's plenty of food. Why don't you fix yourself a plate on your way out? I said, well. Ralph Angel said, you ain't had to do it like that, Aunt Vi. She said, what? I spoke. I was polite. I offered her some food. I said, yeah, that's probably about all you gonna get, Ralph Angel. So Ralph Angel said she trying. And Aunt Vi lets him know, look, if y'all want to keep passing that thing back and forth, y'all do what y'all do. It is what it is at this point. And Ralph Angel's kind of like, taken aback, but she like, look, you know what it is, and if that's the way you want to keep going, you keep going your way. Again, I think she's just too happy. She's too happy to get caught up in nobody else's mess and nonsense and stuff. We also see this is when Lil Tevin Campbell come through, honey, and he sings Lil Tevin Campbell. That's I still think who was that? Was that Russ Parr that did the Lil Tevin Campbell joke? I think that was Russ Parr. Lil Tevin Campbell. But he sang, he still sounds good, honey. He still sounds good. And he did his thing. Now the way they hyped it up, I hope he gonna do more than just sing Amazing Grace. Because they hyped it up like he was on the show I knew he wasn't gonna be a star. But I'm hoping that we see a couple of episodes from him. Okay. So then we see Charlie talking to the woman. I guess she's running for office again. If it's something from last season, I forgot. I don't remember. But she's running for office. I don't know if she's running for mayor, governor, whatever. But her and Charlie get to talking, and come to find out, she has a gift for Aunt Vi from her and from Miss Boudreaux. And Charlie said, "Oh, y'all friends?" She said, "Well, she's made a lot of contributions to the campaign. I thought you knew that." She said, "Oh, okay." She said, "Yeah, she's actually been around a lot lately." Charlie said, "Oh, okay." She said, "You all right with that?" She said, "Well, basically what she told her was, look, I got to do what I got to do to get the job. If she want to donate money to my campaign, and once I get in office, I'm gonna do what I got to do." And I think a lot of politicians feel that way, but what they don't realize is when they take that money, now they've sort of they've allowed themselves to become a pawn, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of politicians feel like, well, I got to get the job first before I can make change. But when you start taking money from the wrong people, it makes it harder to make that change because once you get in office, then you sort of owe them. And so Charlie kind of keeping her eye on it, like, okay, all right, I see where this is going. Okay. So then Ralph Angel. Now Ralph Angel the guy that was his parole officer coming through and basically trying to pressure Ralph Angel to hire more ex-cons. He's like, look, now's your opportunity. You can do more work like this. And Ralph Angel was like, well, I'm already hired. Oh boy, he doing good. Like, how much more do you need me to do? And you can see he's uncomfortable with it. You can see he really wants to say no, but doesn't want to say no. You know what I mean? And again, at the end of the day, I get it. That's your business. You want to help those behind you that need a little bit of help because somebody helped you, but at the same time, that's your business, you know. So that's kind of where what Ralph Angel is kind of dealing with. Then we have Vi. Nova. She's serving pies, and one of the ladies at the counter says, Vi, my sister lives in New York, and she said it's a big old billboard announcing your book coming out. And you can tell Nova is very uncomfortable with it. She said, oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, yeah. And that's when Jasper told her, she's Nova's downplaying the whole thing. And that's when Jasper told her, don't apologize for success. Like, be proud of what you did. But see, that's part of the problem. She ain't proud of what she did. She's having second guesses about what she did and how much she did. And so Hollywood rose up on her. And Hollywood was like, what's going on? And she was like, what you talking about? He said, I ain't never seen you be modest about anything you've done. Now all of a sudden, you don't want to talk about this book. You don't want to, you don't want to make a big deal about it. He said, what's going on? He said, something ain't right about that book. He said, what you put in it? And she said, I just, what are you talking about? He said, if you put in 25% of the secrets I know about this family, we got a problem. He said, and at the very least, you owe us that so we won't be blindsided by it. I said, "Oh, go ahead, Hollywood." He said, my only goal in life is to make sure that that woman is happy. So if anything coming her way, that's a problem. I need to know, and I need to neutralize the problem." And Nova was like, "Oh, so it's like that?" He was like, "Yeah, it's like that." Because at the end of the day, that's who he protected. Like, I love you, Nova, but I love her. You know what I mean? I said, "Oh shit." So that night, Nova has a dream. And the dream is the three of them when they were kids, her, Ralph Angel, and Charlie when they were kids, and they're outside playing and everything. And then they said, "You don't play fair, Nova." And she was like, "What you mean I don't play fair?" And then she falls down, and then she stands up, and they're adults, they're grown, and they're both Ralph Angel and Charlie are looking at her like they want to kill her. And she sort of wakes up in a panic, and we see that she has a stack of copies of the book, like like the pre-production, because it's not the actual book. It's like the spiral bonded, like you can go down to Kinko's. Oh, back in the day, Kinko's, I guess Staples now, and get it done. And so she decides, I guess, at that point, she decides that she needs to let them give everybody an advance copy of the book. But you can tell she's scared. So she goes around, she gives Charlie a copy of the book. Charlie's at work. She puts it to the side. She's like, "Thank you for letting me know. I'll get to it. I'm so proud of you. Let me know, I can help you out. Get ready for your book tour." And Nova was like, "Well, what are you doing?" She said, "Well, I have this awards banquet tonight, but it's no big deal. It's the Women in Business Awards. It's not a big deal. I don't, because she was like, 'Well, I can come,' and she was like, 'No, it's no big deal.'" Now I wish she had gone, but we'll get to that in a minute. She goes to Ralph Angel. Ralph Angel was like, "Well, you called and told me you was coming by, but you didn't tell me why." And she said, "Well, do I have to have a reason to come see my favorite baby brother?" Like, it's awkward. Like, she's nervous and everybody's picking up on her energy. So she gives him a copy of the book. And then when she goes by the diner, she don't even tell them she's giving them a book. She just puts the book on Vi's desk in her office, and she just, sneaks in and sneaks out, so to speak. I mean, they saw her coming in or whatever, but she doesn't get into it. So you could tell the way she's carrying herself. She knows that what she did. Again, I think she's telling herself that she's okay with it, but the way she's acting, her whole mannerism and spirit that she's putting out lets you know she ain't comfortable with what she's done. Um, Charlie's happy. We see her have a conversation with her boo thing, and she's really happy. And he says, "Look, I know that your son will be home, and I get it. I basically he's like, I get it if this is just a little summer fling and you got to get back to reality. And she was like, She said, look, the thing that I love about you is that you are concerned about my feelings and you care about things like that. She said, but let me be clear. I'm good with what we're doing. I'm good with where we are. We could just take it as it comes. We don't have to make no big plans, but we're good. And he was sort of basically giving her an out. And she was like, no, 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 no. We're good. But I'm not putting any pressure on myself or on you to make this what bigger than what it is. We're just gonna take it as it comes. When Micah gets home, we'll deal with it. But I'm not making no great gestures or grand plans. Um, Ralph Angel. Oh, that's the other thing. My fault. Rewind, rewind, rewind. The other thing at the diner, Darla gonna ask Ralph Angel if she could switch days with Blue, and he was like, I mean, that's no problem. But what you got going on? She said, well, I got something to do. He said, "You being real vague. What you got to do? That's more important than Blue." She said, I got a personal situation." And he kind of gives her this look, and she says, "I have a date, Ralph Angel." And you could tell he was kind of taken aback, like, "You got a date?" He was like, "Okay, well, I mean, you within your rights to do that. I just didn't know you were dating. I didn't know you were doing that." And she was just kind of like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Oh, here we go with the two of them." So anyway, I missed that part at the diner. And the reason why I remembered that is because Ralph Angel met up with a little friend at the little church picnic, like they were having some sort of little church picnic. And she was meeting up and he met one of the little girls playing with Blue. She looked like a little bully, but anyway, she took the ball from Blue and told Blue he had butterfingers. He was gonna drop the ball anyway, and um the mama came over to apologize and was like, look, she can be a little aggressive. She don't really have a lot of friends, but I'm sorry. And he was like, it's all good. I ain't tripping. She was like, yeah, she's a little bit of a tomboy. He said, well, my son played with dolls, so it's whatever. She said, I'm impressed that you're cool with that. He said, it's just a toy. It's just a toy. And remember, Ralph Angel's come a long way because he wasn't always cool with it, but respect. And then she said, Blue. She said, I love that name. That's such a strong blah, blah, blah. He said, I love it too. I love him. So I said, okay, we got a little flirty, flirty thing going on here. So, all right, we'll see where that takes us this season. So now we get to Charlie's awards dinner. She's getting this award, the first black woman to own her own sugar cane factory and for finery, not factory. Y'all know what I'm saying. Um, and so she goes to accept her award, and this reporter stands up and interrupts her acceptance speech. And she says, can I ask you some questions? And she said, I'll be happy to answer your questions later. Like, I'm in the middle of my speech, woman. And she says, well, I got a few questions. I mean, because she was giving this speech about women have to support each other and we always have to support each other no matter what. And sometimes it's going to be hard. And sometimes, you know, it might be a little difficult for us, but we got to always have each other's back. So the reporter was like, do you support all women? And Charlie was like, yeah, what you mean? I support all women. She said, well, what about when you were, and I forget the woman's name, but basically she had all the dirt. She said, well, I read an advanced copy of your sister's book, and she seems to have some opinions about what you did when your husband had helped cover up the rape allegations and offered the woman $1 million to go away. And she had all the information. You hear what I'm saying? She knew the amount of money of the bribe and all of this stuff. She said, so what you think about that? And she's blind, Charlie's blindsided. She's embarrassed. She doesn't have an answer. Because first she says, well, I really have no comment on that. But then the reporter kept going and kept going. And they don't show us how Charlie got out of it. They sort of cut to Charlie coming into the house, opening up a bottle of wine, honey. And she picked up that book and started reading, okay? Because she was like, well, I need to know what the hell is in this damn book. And she must have read all night. But she ended up calling Ralph Angel first thing in the morning and telling him, have you read the book yet? He said, nah, she bought it by, but. And then, of course, she did the one thing that you don't do when you want somebody to do something you don't tell them not to do it. She said, look, Ralph, I'm asking you, I'm begging you, don't read that book until I come over there and talk to you. Don't read it until I get over there to talk to you. So what y'all think he did? He got his ass up and started reading that book. And We find out that she put in the book about Ralph Angel about the fact that Blue's not his son. Then we cut over to Hollywood. Hollywood is in Vi's office and he happens to see the book. And he flips it open because I guess you can see the table of contents and you see what chapter is about what person. So he flipped over to, I guess, the chapter about Vi. And Nova then started talking about how her Aunt Vi wasn't always a strong, proud black woman. And they ain't go no further than that. I said, baby, shit is about to hit the fan. Okay. Um, we end off where we see Nova at her father's grave, basically saying, you know, basically saying that shit about to hit the fan, and I don't think people are going to understand what I did. I don't think people are going to understand why I did what I did. And I was like, nope, they not. Because again, it goes back to my question at the beginning. It's your memoir. So why is so much of their business in your memoir? You know, I don't. As the season goes on, my opinion may change because different things may come out of it. But I don't understand Ralph Angel not being the father of Blue having to do with your memoir. I don't understand your sister covering up or trying to cover up a situation with her husband, your memoir. The situation with Aunt Vi, maybe, because Aunt Vi was such a strong female figure in your life, and maybe that would connect to, you know, the type of woman you were or what kind of, you know, that whatever have you. But again, I have to say, how much of this is family business that didn't need to be told versus your business. Now, I love to read. I love a good biography. I love people, you know, so maybe I'm guilty because I like reading that kind of stuff. But again, in any type of memoir or biography, you have to be careful about what you put out and what you want to share with people. So anyway, it looks like it's going to be a deep season, honey. It looks like it's going to be a lot going on. So we'll see how this goes. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.